Hey, what's going on, guys? So some of you may remember about a year or so ago we did a contest using the little Nacchin Tank kits. So these little kits with this little robot that was designed by Moi-san in Japan, and they turned it into this cute little kit. Well, Kotobukiya has come along and turned that into a larger scale, 1/35th scale version of the Nacchin Tank. And it's here now. It's very cool, highly customizable, and I'm definitely looking forward to more versions coming out in the future. But this is the green version. There's also a gray version that's going to be available from this first couple of releases. Today we're going to be taking a look at the green version. Let's go ahead and check out the box and then check out the kit. Well, it feels like it's been forever since when this kit was first announced, but it feels good to finally have it here in hand. The box art on this kit is amazing. Really love the style of this box art. It definitely looks like it's done by the same artist that does a lot of the artwork for the Gundam box, especially the master grades. Especially if you take a look at the box art up close and you see like a lot of the weathering effects and like the lighting effects and everything on this. It looks very familiar if you guys have built any of like the recent Bandai master grades. The artwork on this just looks really nice. So you got a couple of Nacchin tanks here moving along through the jungle with some battle effects all going on. They're shooting their guns and there's stuff flying around everywhere. It's a really cool dynamic artwork here for this one. You got the same artwork on the ends of the box there. It also shows the price of 4,000 yen for the list price. On the sides of the box, you got pictures of what the kit is going to look like when it's all built and painted and decaled up, action poses, what it can do. It can sit down, it can shoot. All the different accessories that are included are shown here, as well as the water slide decals that are included in the box. So we do also have a picture of what the kit is going to look like, just completely unpainted, just built up straight out of the box. That's how the kit is going to look there. Right on the other side, we have a little bit of the introduction of Nacchin, but that's information there about just the original design, I guess. It's all in Japanese. Some other stuff over on this side. Once again, the price is down there, 4,000 yen for the list price for this. Opening up the box, and I think one thing we're going to notice right away, there's definitely a lot more parts in here compared to the original release, which was just, a couple of small runners all in one color. One thing we got with this is a lot of different colors. As you can see, there's going to be multiple shades of green and gray all going into this guy, even though it kind of overall has the look of basically just being all one color. We do have a lot of cool stuff here in the box. On the manual here, front and back side are just going to have the same artwork that just wraps around on both sides with the cool Nacchin logo there as well. On the inside, we got some more original artwork there from Moi-san with the pilot character there, Natsuki. And then down here is some more artwork showing some like detailed illustrations of some of the features of the design, the claws and the feet. I thought it was really cool. The manipulator hands, the contact display, the eyes. Here you have a look at some more different action poses, things you can do with that. And then some customized options using some different MSG weapons sets available from Kotobukiya as well. We've got a parts list over here on this page, and then the rest of the manual mostly just all going to be the construction of the kit itself. Making our way to the back of the manual here, you also have a color guide there, so it gives you color mixes for exactly all the colors, all the details on that, and also decal placement, where to place all the decals on the kit. Color guide here for the weapons as well. And again, just more details on where to place all of the decals. Then we've got our water slide decal sheet, which has your standard caution markings and different numbers, so you can choose a number for it, some different line bits. But what's really cool is all the options you have for the eye decal, so those are really nice and really fun and awesome options there. So in this little bag here, we've got our eye piece with the pre-printed eyes on there, so that's nice. You don't even have to use a water slide decal for that if you don't want to. And then our flexible yellow wire here for the tail, also very nice. Just taking a look at all the runners, as you can see, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different colors in here, or different shades of gray and green. Runner A is going to be in the standard dark green. That is going to be the main color for the kit. And if you take a look at the runner marking here, they're all going to be marked with that very long Nacchin Tank title there in Japanese. Runners B and C are also going to be in that same dark green color. We've got 2 of the C runner. Runner D is in a kind of pale olive green kind of color. And if you take a close-up look right here, you can see there's 3 of the eye piece option parts there, so you'll have those that you can switch out if you want to change the eye emotions. Runner F is going to be in this pale brown color for a bunch of the joints and interior parts. Same thing here with Runner G, we've got 2 of those for some more joint parts. Runner E here, we've got 2 of these in a very dark olive color. So there's those parts for the legs. Then Runner H is also in a very dark gray, but this is more of like a dark navy. And then our weapons parts are from the MSG options sets, so these are going to be in a medium gray color. So that is it for all the parts. Let's go ahead and get the kit put together and see what it looks like. Alright guys, so here's the kit all put together, and it is an awesome kit. I'm really excited for this one. Kotobukiya did an amazing job on this, basically adapting it from the design and what we had before as just a tiny little 1/100 scale version of it, and now into the 1/35 scale version here. Obviously tons of detail added inside and out, a lot of articulation added, so it'll be a lot more fun to pose this kit. And then obviously there's just the customizability of this, being able to customize it with the different hard points around on the kit, being able to add option parts and things like that. It's going to make this one a very cool kit indeed. So first off, you'll notice that it's using the tail as a kickstand here at the back basically, and if you mess around with it, you can get it to just stand on its own 2 feet without using the tail, but obviously with these tiny little feet and this big massive chunky body, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, so it's really nice to have this nice flexible piece here for the tail that you can use to just help it to kind of stand up. But aside from that, you do also have this included stand with this, it's just a piece attached on a ball joint there at the bottom. This will attach right up in here underneath, and that will help you to do things like running poses, action poses, and stuff like that, so that's also very convenient to have. For some option pieces, as we saw with the unboxing, you have 3 of these optional pieces you can swap out for the eyes, and this is the pre-printed one I have in there now. But as you saw, we had some different waterslide decals that we can use for these, so those are easy to swap out if you want to just change the expression. We also have a handful of these, just little connector pieces, which you can use for some of the many hard points on here, which I'll point out in just a minute, for attaching other different armor or weapon, accessory bits, things onto there. You also have these handle parts. There's 2 of these for if you wanted to give this kit some other different MSG weapons, and if the handle is a little bit different or something and doesn't quite fit, or if you just need to add an additional handle onto something for this, this is a handle which will work with the included hands of this kit. And as for the hands, each one of these fingers has a ball joint at the base, and they also have a seam line down the middle of each of the fingers because each finger is 2 pieces sandwiched together. That's unfortunate, but you have some articulation there with those. You also have this set of fixed pose fingers, which you'll use for holding onto your weapon, so you just swap those out when you want to hold onto a weapon or accessory or something. One thing to note is that they are rectangular in shape, so if you wanted to hold something like a staff or a beam saber handle type weapon or something, it won't work if it's a circle. You'll have to drill out a circle shape into there. Now for our weapons from the MSG set, here is just kind of the basic pistol. Then you have a couple different options what you can plug onto the bottom of this. You can plug this magazine, drum magazine sort of thing onto the bottom of there. We also got this one, which you can use if you prefer that longer style. And then you have this box, which you can keep it like this, like a box, or you can take off the top part. You just flip that around the opposite way, and then you can plug this up underneath there like so. So you have some cool different options for what you want to do with that, or you just leave that completely off. And then our other weapon is like this. Now as it is again just basically the most simple form of this. You can change the camera on the top if you want to. You can swap this out for this just kind of ammunition magazine there on the top, or any of the options that we saw before work on this one here as well. So just plug into the bottom there like that. So some very cool weapon options here with this one. But again, these are just regular MSG weapon option sets that you can get just on their own. So you may already have a set of these. You can use any sort of weapon option sets from the MSG line, or even some stuff from the just like Bandai weapon sets as well too. Pretty much anything 1/144 scale weapon sets should work well with this. But as I was saying about the articulation, we do certainly have a lot of that. So starting off just with the head, you can open up the top of this. This whole front section slides out, and then you can tilt that down like that to kind of expose the cockpit. This back section also slides up and folds out like that. So cool that we have some cockpit detail up inside of there, but no pilot figures included. So it really would have been nice if we had some sort of like pilot figure that they include maybe in a future set. But again, this is 1/35 scale, so anything 1/35 scale would fit, you know, size appropriate wise would fit with that. This is also how you can swap out the eye piece. So you just bend that down and that pulls out really easily. Pop the alternative one in there, bend that back, and then close this up. Now here our shoulder joint will pull to the front a little bit like that. As you can see, it kind of pulls out away from the body a little bit, and then you've got some rotation side to side. You can turn the shoulder up and down. You also got some rotation there at the top of the arm, a double joint there in the elbow, but it's really only going to give you about 90 degrees just with the design of this. You know, it's got some nice articulation, but it is still going to be a little bit limited just due to the simplicity of its design. One cool thing about the fingers too is that there's like this small hole detail in each of the fingers, but it's just a little bit of detail extra added in there. Up here on the shoulder, this big shield section is just attached via a ball joint. But if you take that off, this entire section of the shoulder is just plugged onto the top of there. So you can see this is probably one thing that is going to be used for future variations for alternative different types of equipment. Will just be plugged onto the top of the arm there like that. Instead of these shield panels, it could be some other sort of like a cannon or type of equipment added onto there. Here in the sort of stomach section, you can tilt this whole section back like that, and that will kind of free up the articulation a little bit for you to have a little bit of a forward and back crunch here in the midsection. You can also tilt that a little bit to the side like so, and you can turn it a little bit here as well. So you got some interesting little bit of articulation there in the stomach section. These little sort of side skirt bits will move up and down a little bit. You can tilt that out a little bit out to the side like that, or obviously around here at the back where the tail plugs in. This tail is completely flexible. The legs, you can bring that all the way out to the side, and you can bring the legs up and back. You got some articulation here in the knee. A nice double joint there will give you a pretty nice knee bend there. And then even at the ankle, these tiny little pod cat feet here. You got some articulation front and back, and then those will also turn side to side. So by moving it like front and then turning it to the side a little bit, you get sort of an angle there for the stance at the ankle. So very nice tiny little feet, but it is able to stand up on those little things. Now, as I mentioned, we have a lot of hard points around on this kit, and they're pretty nicely hidden because these panels here fit so nice and flushly against the design. But underneath these panels, if you pop those off, you got a hard point there, hard point on the sides of the knees, hard point here on the sides of the hands. Around here on the back, you have 1, 2, 3. Each of those little panels right there is removable for hard point. And of course, even right here in the front center, that tiny little panel right there is also removable for just your standard 3mm hard point right there as well. So pretty easy. Just take like the end of your tweezers or even like the end of your knife. Just be careful not to snap off the very tip of your knife, but just stick that in there and carefully pop that out. And you can add all sorts of different weapons and accessories or different little option bits, using different Kotobukiya MSG option parts. There's a lot of different things you could add to these kits, so that's really awesome. For a size comparison, here it is next to a standard 1/44 scale HG Gundam kit. So as you can see, it's not huge by any means, but it's definitely got some good size to it. But so there you have it, guys. For the purposes of this review, I'll just stick to what's included in the box here, but as you can see, there's a lot of different opportunities with this kit for customizing it, and that's definitely something that we'll be doing in the future. I'll be thinking of what I might want to do with this one, with mine, and I'm sure we'll probably have some sort of part 2 or a sequel version of the contest that we had before with the Nacchin kits. I'm sure we'll probably be having another contest in the future now using these Kotobukiya versions of the kits, with there being even more opportunities to customize them just using all the different MSG option parts and things like that you can use with these. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, so definitely stay tuned for that. That's probably coming someday in the future, but what do you guys think of the kit? Let me know down in the comment section below. Are you looking forward to getting yours? Do you have any ideas for what you might want to do with your kit if you do plan on getting one, or are you gonna wait and see what other future versions come out? Let me know down in the comments, and of course, if you want to pick up one of these kits for yourself, we've got them now at USA Gundam Store, so the link to the site will be down in the video description below, as always, and always there's my coupon code for you guys to use to save some money there also, so make sure you use that. And just to wrap up the review, there's just a couple of things that I mentioned earlier that I would kind of wish that this kit included that unfortunately it doesn't. One of those would just be a pilot figure like I mentioned earlier. Another thing was that I think it was a really good opportunity to add an LED unit into this. Now, adding LED units is just not something that Kotobukiya really ever does, so it's kind of understandable. But if you wanted to take the initiative to add an LED or even a few LEDs into this kit, there's definitely plenty of opportunity to do so. Even with the older kit, it wasn't that difficult, I feel like, but now with this one, with it being even larger in size and most of the body cavity being pretty empty, there's definitely plenty of space in there to go in and add some LEDs, at least just to make some glowing eyes or something like that. So while I'm not really surprised that Kotobukiya didn't include that as part of this kit, it would be something that would definitely be cool to see in a future version, or if there was some sort of option set or something like that came out to make an LED version of this. I don't really expect that to happen, but I look forward to seeing your guys' custom builds using some LEDs and all that. So until then, I hope you guys all have a great day. I'll see y'all later. Bye, guys.